I'm not looking at me hair like since I've like moved the room around.
Okie doke. Apparently we're live. I'm not sure. I think we are live. Anyway.
Yes, we are. 7 seconds, 10.
Hello, gorgeous. You're looking beautiful and you wearing Wonder Woman t-shirt. I wonder why.
Yeah.
So everybody who's watching us, if you're watching us live, would be lovely to hear from you. So hashtag live, if that's the replay, again, hashtag replay. And welcome again to my Wonder Woman interview. And today I'm completely over the moon to having this mega star, can I say? You are smashing it, Claire. You're completely smashing it. So, Claire, we met, where did we met? Was it last year? I don't remember, really.
Yeah. Well, it must have been in lockdown because I can't even remember where we met, which group or how, but I know it was your remote photography skills.
Virtual shoots. It was.
You hooked me with that idea because I was ready.
You were ready. Claire, very quickly, do you want to introduce yourself right now so everybody knows who we're speaking to? And we're going to start chatting because I need to get some more info from you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I'm Claire. I'm the Soberholic. I was inspired to look at my own drinking after watching my good friend's health decline. So I was a typical binge drinker, just having a great time when I was drinking, living for the weekends, but my weekends just kind of got a bit longer because I worked for myself. And so I had that excuse that I could decide if I opened that next bottle of wine. And it wasn't like the alcohol was the direct problem, but it started showing up in other areas of my life. And when this friend, you know, things were changing for her and her life was falling apart, I could really, I couldn't see the line between my fun and her problem for a long time. And so I went on this journey of kind of exploring it. I went and did some voluntary work. I stopped drinking myself and realized that the social pressure to drink was real, right? Yeah. So as much as I got it right in my head that this is what I wanted, then it was convincing the outside world. And the more I talked about it, the more I realized that I wasn't on my own with this. So I developed a bit of a following, and then I've created a program. I've got a workbook, and now I'm just basically on a mission to spread the sober joy and rebrand sober, because what I've found is people think sober is boring, where I found the opposite to be true. It's all of the things that a bottle of wine promised me and more. And so it's like I've now found this new lease of life, and as I'm coming up with the menopause years, and I feel better than I ever have. And it's like a secret that I'm not prepared to keep. You know,
not prepared. It's not only for you, isn't it? You want to share, clearly.
Girl code, right? I need to share this and say, like, try life sober. Seriously. You know, we're fed up with our careers, our relationship, our health. And, you know, I've lost 4 stone. My husband is now 7 months sober. It's like the opportunities are just, it's the level of self-awareness. I know what pisses me off. And it's just, it is a secret sauce. I highly recommend it.
Well, yeah, because I think that, you know, living walking proof that we can have fun without alcohol. But you know what, I think lots of us found ourselves, especially through the lockdown, in that really pickle that we couldn't go out, we couldn't find more joy doing something else, so we just stuck there with a bottle of wine in front of the celly. And it was really hard. And I think lots of my friends and lots of like people around, which I'm obviously hanging around, we just found ourselves in that kind of pickle that you kind of take, you're taking into it because that takes the edge off, because X, Y, Z. And it's just really easy to fall into that kind of, into that trap, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I believe, my belief is that women have been the target of a massive massive advertising campaign for the alcohol industry. So if you think about it, we've been promoting it to each other with birthday cards and fridge magnets. We're telling each other that we deserve it. And really it's not glaringly obvious because it's such a tricky substance that you feel good when you first have it, and then you want more of it, and then the next day you feel shit, and you don't connect those dots that when you're feeling rubbish, even 3 or 4 days later, you know, when you're sick of your husband and you can't be bothered to answer, you know, reply to those emails, and you've got those bills that you haven't dealt with, and everything just seems worse, where it's almost like you've got this superpower because you don't have, you know, simple thing. I get very passionate when I talk about it.
Good.
Right? Your sleep is affected. Even if you had 2 glasses of wine, which, okay, you're not going to lose your relationship. Your life's not going to fall apart because of that. However, what happens is when you go to sleep, your sleep's affected. So you normally would have about 5 or 7 REM cycles in one sleep. You only get 2 because of the alcohol. What you've drank, your body is producing a stimulant to counteract the poison. So when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning full of anxiety, that's your little body trying to get rid of that poison, you know. Think about your little babies, like you're giving poison to yourself and then wondering why you feel rubbish. But with that sleep deprivation, you know, you get up and you stub your toe or you spill the milk and you snap at your kids, and that's not because of the 2 glasses of wine. That straight away you think you're horrible now and you're a bad person, and you're not. You've just taken that little bit of energy and you've used it, but when you had that glass of wine thinking you were relaxing, but you're not realizing that it's ruined your sleep. And then you've now starting off your day feeling like that self-loathing, and you haven't connected it to the glass of wine. And you come home tonight, and you think, I've had a really shit day. Oh, I know what I need is a glass of wine.
As the cycle just repeats, doesn't it?
And yes, your life's not fun. But you see me and you go, oh, right, okay, yeah, her friend died. Oh, that I'm nowhere near that. That's not me. No, it's not you. But fast forward, your relationship breaks down. You lose a contract at work. And then the only thing that you've got, because then you can't talk to your friends because maybe, you know, they make a joke about the last time you were drunk. So you don't feel like you can talk to them.
Yeah.
So then you're alone and all you've got is your wine. And after a while, like my friend, I was sit beside her on the sofa with a nice glass, you know, posh glass with a few sparkles on. And mine was chilled. Hers was in a cup and it was warm and she didn't care. You know, and that was my friend who I used to go on these glamorous weekends away with designer handbags and were accessories. And think about every little minute detail of her outfit. And she's sitting with bed rug from 3 days and she doesn't care anymore. She didn't care anymore. You know, but if I tried to take her wine away, she would care. And that's how serious it is. And she's not here now. She died at the beginning of the lockdown. She was my friend. You know, and people are giving each other birthday cards. Oh, it's all such a laugh until it's not.
I know.
You know, until it's not a laugh. And I'm not here to convince people who are having a good time. But if you're frazzled and you're ambitious and you're wondering why your life isn't how you want it to be, just look at what you're drinking and consider trying life without it, because you don't need it because it's Friday. You don't need it because you're stressed. You don't need it because he's drinking it. You don't need it. You really don't need it.
I think we just very often just become reliant, and it's just like you said, it was kind of conditioned into us, isn't it, that's how we're supposed to have fun. And that's the whole culture around it. We're going to the restaurant, we're having a glass of wine, we're going to the bar, and it would be strange for some stood there with a glass of water, because that's not what we do. And maybe we would feel out of sync with everybody else being drunk and us just only sober. It's just the culture. You're getting involved and you need to stick to it. And it's just the kind of conformism when we just want to follow the crowd and we do what's expected from us. And this is just very strange, isn't it? Because we very often as women saying, oh, you know, we need to kind of look after ourselves and we need to be strong and we know what we're doing. But then we follow like those ships, aren't we? We do follow because we want to please others and we want to be not excluded. I think the exclusion sometimes is very strong as well, isn't it? That you're going to go somewhere and you're not going to kind of fit in, isn't it?
But I think it's a process in the way that how I deal with my clients. I walk them from, you've got to get it right in your head first. You know, you've got to know why you want this. Because often if we go, oh, you know, I'd like to lose a few pounds, you know, that would be nice. It's not enough. It's not strong enough. You know, and how many times do we make these rules for ourselves? Say, I'm not drinking through the week. I'm not going to drink at home on my own anymore. I'm not going to do that. So you're straight away jumping to you in that wine bar and you're stood with a glass of water and all your friends are, you know, but we're not even there. I was dealing with ladies in lockdown and that wasn't the problem. They were saying, what will my friends say? But they weren't sitting with their friends. They were at home on their own. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's being aware of when you're drinking and which bits would you like to leave behind. You know, you might want to continue with the drinking in the wine bars with your friends, but you want to get rid of the Wednesday night, I feel sorry for myself. You know, so it's about thinking about which bits do you want to, and that's awareness, because often if you were like me, I didn't make a note of when I'd had a drink. I could sit and go, oh, I don't think I had a drink last Tuesday, but I never made a note of what I was drinking and when. So it's even if I get ladies to just have a bit of self-awareness, that's the first step. And it's recognizing, first of all, it's not your fault. And thinking when you stub your toe and you shout at your kids that maybe, you know, if you hadn't had the wine, you might have woke up. I wake up in a good mood. I can't remember that ever happening before, you know. It just changes your level of normal. It really, really does. And, you know, my way is looking at, you start off stuck, then you start observing other people who are sober and you start thinking, well, why would I want to do that? You know, because straight away your brain goes to, you're stood in that wine bar and you're feeling left out. But actually, it's not just that. It's like, what about the Sunday morning? When people haven't sat in front of the telly, vegging out, having pizza, having their wine on a Saturday night, and then they didn't get up on Sunday morning and go walking in the morning. And it's like you're swapping that for that, aren't you? You think, well, what could you have instead?
It's all about choices, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's all about choices, isn't it? And obviously the kind of ripple effect. If we're doing X, Y, Z, that's the price you pay. And I think some people, you know, think, oh, it's still worth it. Some people think it's not worth it. And that's when they're going and sticking you, isn't it? Because I think you need to get to that point when you want to be helped, right? It's not like you feel okay with it and all of a sudden, I think you really want to have that help, or you need to be kind of convinced deep down inside that that's the way for you, because I don't think anyone can drag you through the hedge and saying, oh, you have to do X, Y, Z, because it's not what
absolutely. No, I'm here for the ladies who
are ready.
If you're already thinking, I'm here again and I didn't want to have this bottle of wine on a Wednesday night, and I feel like I constantly, you know, and everywhere you go, if you have friends having picnics and it's them handy little bottles of Prosecco or the little tins of gin and tonic.
Evil things.
All of a sudden you're thinking, it's everywhere, like everywhere.
You know what?
I went. You don't want to have it.
It's crazy. I went to, and I knew I'm going to be talking to you the other day. And yesterday we went for a walk, and we ended up in Dunamasi in the little coffee shop where families are. And there's a big fridge with like drinks and cakes and stuff like that. And there's like mini bottles of wine. It's like, how weird is that, isn't it? Because that's family-oriented cafe in the middle of that big national park, and the access of it, like, I know, it's everywhere. And I'm the guilty of it, because we always say, it's so, like, us moms, and you get to the stage, you just really need to take the edge off. You need to take the edge off. You've been through so much today, and that's the easiest kind of going into it, isn't it?
But if I stop you there, if you rewind 2 days, the reason you feel like that is because of the 2 glasses of wine you had 2 days ago.
Exactly. It's like the kind of vicious circle. Yeah. Because I remember times when I haven't been drinking, and that was when I was studying, when that culture of drinking was quite big, but I wasn't into it, and we had massive fun. We had great times, and that wasn't really needed. That wasn't compulsory, but that's the kind of the culture I was surrounded, because people around me didn't do it, and it was just like kind of, we literally could go out dancing, and we were drinking juice, I know, and we had massive fun, because that was all about dancing, meeting friends. And I do understand, because I've been there and I'm here, and I understand both of those worlds, that it's easy to kind of, it's easy to get sunk in, but it's also easy to kind of see, I can't have without it. So, when I met you first time, and where we were like doing the pictures and everything, and you saw you've got so much energy, and that virtual shoot we did, I said, Jesus, that woman, just looking at you, I was getting tired because you're so bouncy and everything. It's like, where's this coming from? I hardly can open my eyes. She's bouncing around. But that's completely, because when you think about people who went through, like, I don't know, sober, or they like detoxing or anything like that, they're usually miserable because something's been taken away from them, right? Something they really wanted and they can't have it anymore. And you also always kind of think about the recaps or anything like that, all those things. When you go cold turkey or whatever you do, you think like, this is going to be misery, right? This is going to be terrible. And that doesn't have to be like this. And when I met you and I've seen the energy of the levels you've got, the passion you've got about this, and we got to know each other quite well, didn't we, through all that process, and we have a great time. So I kind of see that can be actually that can be really affectionate. You can really get affected by your energy, and the people, I know the people, a few of my friends contacted you, and I know the people who saying, what, she actually talks to me, she actually talks about what I've got issues. And it's not about very strong kind of, some people have got really huge issues, and we're not going to put in from 0 to 10 what's your issues with your alcohol, because this is not about that. This is about how we want to live and how we want to enjoy our time, right? It doesn't matter if you drinking a glass of wine every evening, or if you 3 bottles every evening. If you're not happy with it, then you're supposed to change it, right? Am I correct?
Absolutely. And it's usually why, before when you said, I just need to take the edge off, I want to get to the bottom of, what do you want to take the edge? What is it in your life that you want to change?
Don't get me started.
That was where I was. That was my I was running a business that wasn't serving me. And I felt like I was in the wrong seat. I was in the wrong seat always. It just felt like I was living the wrong life. Like, in just this icky feeling. I don't know. And it's gone away now. That's gone away.
But I think whenever you start doing something with a passion, something you're really convinced about, and that's when the magic starts, right? Because when we start, I remember like when I met you, and it was just, you just really know that you want to give those women who struggle helping hand. And I just watched you for all those months on a telly, in the magazines, everywhere, just like literally you just like, you completely taking over the world. And like, oh, that's Claire, that's my client. Yeah, she's cooking there. It's like, she's everywhere. And I really love it. But you know what? I think when you're convinced, when you're doing something right and you've got this energy, you really want to go there and shout about it, right? And then it's so much easier to be happier, and then you don't need it really to have a glass of wine or a cigarette or whatever it is, or bar of chocolate. Let's be honest, sugar's shit as well, isn't it? We can get addicted to that as well. Or go shopping therapy. How many people just go to shops for the sake of,
they're not happy, and instead of saying, what is it in your life that you're not happy about, let's look at that. That's all the training that I'm getting now for people to, it's not about telling people what they should do. It's about saying, what is it? Like, really listen to what it is that's nipping you. When you're drinking, you're not listening to that, because you're just masking the feeling. And then the next day you're blaming yourself because you're hungover. But actually, those feelings that you're drowning with the wine are there for you to get you to take action. Them feelings that are telling you that you're not happy, like, listen to them. What is it about that? What is it that you're trying to mask? What are you trying? And that's the awareness at the beginning, when you're observing, to say, like, okay, every time this week, if you even write it down, it sounds arsey, but if you care about yourself and your family and your future, then get a pen and a bit of paper. Monday, drank because of work. Tuesday, drank because of work. Wednesday, drank because of husband. So, so then you can go, all right, okay, maybe I should try, like, what could I change about those things on that list, so that when you drink, because you're all dressed up and you're with your girlfriends, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it might take you a while to live without it, to prove to yourself that you can. And what better way to turn up at with your girlfriends, looking brilliant, feeling confident and sparkly and full of energy, and saying, hello, here I am. Oh, I don't drink that anymore. I'll have a tonic water. And they'll go, oh. And then you can help them too, by inspiring them. We're all scared. What will my friends think? Your friends were probably on the phone yesterday. Do you know, like, if it's a problem, this is what we need to be looking at. Like, we'll just keep chucking wine at it and it's not working. It's not working.
Yeah,
is it?
Clearly not. Clearly not. And can you tell me because obviously you're helping lots of women. How would you say, how those people reaching out to you and what they're coming with to you? Is there any questions they ask you first? If you could describe a person, who comes to you, how would you describe that person? Who's actually
my ideal client, and I know you asked me before we did the branded photo shoot, who's your ideal client? And it was like,
it was, to be honest, that's what I like. I love working with people who know the brand and who they're passionate, because you literally, I sat there reading your workbook. I sat there and was like, oh my God, Jesus, she got this to a T. I was completely shocked, because I usually get like 3 or 4 lines aged between 0 to 100. Literally anyone, but you actually described that person. So tell me about
that name and everything. She's called Susan. And it's funny because as I'm growing and having this confidence and putting myself forward for things, which all came from the photographs, I have to give you that, mind. They all came from there. So we're going to have to talk about that as well. What was it that changed for me? Because I wasn't always like this. I was doing it wrong. I had photographs that I'd taken myself of me looking at the ocean. Like going, when the fuck are you going to stop drinking? These girls are not listening to me. And you were like, no. You need to sell to us that you've got this sorted, And I'm like, right, okay. Well, I have. Yeah. And so it's like, well, look, I've lost 4 stone. They're like, tell them about that, Yeah. And I'm like, all right, okay. And because I'd lost 4 stone, honestly, I had like 1 pair of leggings and one
look fab. Jesus, woman, you look amazing.
Sad. I don't know. I was sad at my desk working. The weight was dropping off because I was walking on the beach. I haven't done anything like crazy like to try and lose the weight. It's just because me habits have changed. Everything's changed. I don't eat kebab pizzas anymore.
No, that's what triggers, isn't it? If you have a drink, you want to treat and you're snacking and you do whatever, and
you're like, I don't. If my husband's getting chips and pie, I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. Yeah. So that's naturally happened. But because I was so focused on this business, I wasn't bothered if we were locked out. I wasn't bothered about buying new clothes. And then Aga came and we had a conversation. It was like, no, you have to show us how good you are, how good you feel. And I was like, I was kind of waiting until I was a success. Then I was going to buy all these clothes. Right? And I thought, all right, okay. So I started like, well, okay. And I really had to think, well, who am I? I'm not going to be going nightclubbing anymore. I'm a mom who does the school run, but I want to turn up. I don't want to be. Yes. I don't want to keep all the stuff for the Saturday night when I might go somewhere. And so I just bought these new outfits, and I spent a lot of money on myself. But I bought about 5 or 6 different outfits. And then when they came and they all fit, and there was all the bright colors.
You look unbelievable. That was just completely stunning.
I did it all for my business. I did it all. Everything I bought was the colors, if you remember.
Yeah, I know. They were like bang on. That was just like
I hadn't been anywhere, so I was lying on my sofa like this, wasn't there? And all these
suit. How beautiful was that suit? Oh my God, I love that suit. That was amazing.
And most of them still had the labels on.
Take the labels off.
Because I hadn't been anywhere. But then when I had these photographs, it was like, oh my God, I'm not keeping these to myself. Look at me.
Yeah,
and it really did build my confidence. I got so much more than I ever expected. Like, I'm still embarrassed about how much it had built my confidence. And then it was like, well, what else am I worried about? What else do I need to up level? So it was my copy. So I got support with that. And then it was like, right, I'm going to do this. So pictures for newspapers, pitching for TV, and you get loads of no's. And I had lots of people who wanted a photograph of my friend. Yeah. And they wanted to go on that angle. I was like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah, that kind of, that story angle.
I knew what I wanted. I knew who I wanted to talk to and answer your question. Yeah. Because this woman, this Susan, my ideal client, I've got written down here as well. She's about 42. She's frazzled. it's basically me a few years ago.
Yeah.
She's got children, so she knows she's got this, like that lioness spirit inside of her. She's got that, right? And maybe she's in a relationship, and I don't know, maybe some of the respect for him's gone. Sorry. Because she thought that he was going to be the answer to all of her prayers. And to be honest, life's a bit shit because she feels a bit fed up, and I don't know, everything's a bit let down, right?
Everything's a let down. Go on, I love it.
Now she's motivated and she wants more, but she's not surrounded by other people who want more. She's surrounded by other people who are happy just to sit in that soup of nonsense and just talk about it and not do anything about it. And that's not her. And so she's screaming a bit inside about that. And so she just wants to find somebody who she can follow and think, right, okay, what did she do to get that? Because I want that, and I want that energy. I want that fire in my tummy, and I want to know that I'll be all right, whether he's here or not, really. And whether, I get this future that I'm dreaming about for myself, I want to do it on my own anyway, but I need to pull my socks up and I need to sort myself out. That's who I want to help.
Yeah. I think you just hit the nail, isn't it? Because I think very often we expect other people to be there, turn up on a white horse and save us, and all this bullshit we've been feeding from the small, that one, that's the horse, the shiny armor and all that bollocks. Yeah,
because it's what we were told.
No, exactly. We've been completely conditioned to that. And not creating our own life, not creating our own strength, just relying on other people make us happy. And that's the biggest letdown, isn't it? Because if the other person have a bit of slump, or if the other person let us down in any shape or form, what are we doing now if we rely on all the happiness coming from them, isn't it? It's just never going to happen. And if we're not going to, obviously cliche as sounds, as much as it sounds, but if you're not happy with ourselves, then no one's gonna ever gonna make us happy, right? Even if we're gonna go to the next relationship, we're taking all that baggage to someone else. We're gonna expect that person to be everything, and who can put up with that pressure, right?
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, you watch Love Island, you feel sorry for them poor boys.
I know, Jesus, leave me alone.
I've got sons, and you think, bloody hell, these women who just expect that they're going to go, can you make me happy? Make me happy.
It's a big favor to ask, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's a big favor to ask. Can you make me happy?
Exactly, when you don't even know yourself. And so when you're feeling stressed and pissed off and reaching for the wine, before you pour it, make a little note and say, right, it's because of my job again. And then come to me and let's chat about how we can move you forward with the job, instead of relying on that sticky plaster, because it's making the thing that's on this list harder. Do you know what I mean? It's making you want it more, and that's it. And then we feel shame because we're relying on it. We're relying on this addictive substance. We're addicted to it. And then one day we're giving them a birthday card because it's funny. The next day we're tutting at them because they didn't turn up to pick the kids up from school.
Yeah.
Where's that line? Where's the in-between bit? And who does she speak to when she's feeling like that? Because she doesn't want to go to her doctors, because she might be having difficulties with her relationship. So she doesn't want it on record at her doctors that she's got this drinking. Is it a problem? She doesn't know, but she knows that she's relying on it too much.
Yeah.
Or does she go to AA? I wouldn't have gone to AA. I wouldn't have. So instead she can just come have a chat with me.
But that's exactly, I was about to ask you, how people can work with you, how people can find you, and what's your ways of helping people out? Because I know there is a few.
Okay, so I've got a program, an online program where you can do self-study, because I know if you're like me, I would just be really intrigued and maybe want to get in and just do it myself. I don't want to talk about it. So I've got that option. I have that option where you have to be motivated enough to go in. If you're not motivated enough to go in, the next thing is where you get an email every day, automated, with just a 5 or 10 minute activity to get you thinking about. And we don't talk about alcohol. It's talking about what your values are, what you want from life. Like, where do you see yourself in a year's time? And it's about your identity. Who do you want to be? My identity was really wrapped up in being the Prosecco pisshead. And you have to change who you are, you know, and then that's hard. It's really hard.
Yes.
You know, so it's about doing that, and it's like a drip feed, really. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's you figuring out what it is that would make you happy, because we often don't know. Nobody's ever asked we before. You know, what do you want? I don't know, glass of wine. Red or white.
No, completely. I think like lots of people don't know because we
spend more time thinking about
on autopilot, right? And we do all the right things for everybody else, but actually when it comes to sitting down and thinking, what do I want?
I know. Exactly. And it's like, what do I want for my kids? Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But mine, I swear to God, I've got a lot of clients on the other end of this who are empty nesters. The kids have left.
Yes.
And then now they don't like him even more.
It's nothing to kind of tide you with it, isn't it? It's just.
And then you just sat there thinking, shit, all I want now is grandchildren. Like, what do I do now until the grandchildren come?
Yeah.
You know, and the weight's gone on, and you know, everything's a bit rubbish, and all you've got to look forward to is your monthly Prosecco brunch with your friends.
It's Jesus.
That's not what I want. Do you know what I mean?
No,
that's not what I want.
So much to life. It's so much to life than this, isn't it?
And it is. We've all got these little people who are watching. You know, mine are like 9 and 11 now, and like they're so proud of me, and like I don't want them to think that I'm, oh, for God's sake, pass the wine. You know, like Miss Hannigan off Annie. I didn't want that. I don't want to be her.
Yeah. No, I completely get.
That's not who I want to be.
No, it's unbelievable, isn't it? They see everything. They literally, you think they're not watching, but they are. So it doesn't matter how old they are, if they're 3 or if they're 10 or they're 15 or 20, they watch you. Oh my God, they watch every single, you know, your movement. They really do, and everything kind of gets ticked and clicked in there, isn't it, and tapped. So it's really tricky. So
one answer the last question that you said about so how to work with me. So yes. I'm going to give you the link, a free workbook. So in the workbook, now not everybody wants a workbook, it sounds like homework, but you can look at the workbook.
I think workbooks are the best way to start, because you start, like, you know, I'm big on workbooks. You got your workbook from me. I think it's so important to start thinking, because that's putting on a paper or on computer. You really have to start doing it, otherwise you're not going to start doing the job, isn't it?
It's just a way for them to think, like, what are the long-term benefits, the short-term benefits of drinking, and just to get you start thinking, because a lot of the times it's an automatic thing, automatic, bottle of wine, you know, so it's just to snap you out of that, to start thinking, and that's often enough to get people a little bit of time, and from that they also get an invitation. They might not get it straight away, because I've got quite a lot that I'm doing at the moment.
It's so busy.
A 7-day sober pen pal trial.
I was thinking, I thought that's such a great idea when I've seen it. So can you tell me more about it?
Put it at the front, because that used to be like my high end. That's my high ticket price, really.
Yeah.
But what I've done is, in order to get to my clients, to get to see who is it that's pressing the button on my workbook, who is it that I'm bringing forward. Is it Susan? Is she frazzled? Is she all of these things? Is she, maybe our kids have left home? Who is she? Yeah. So what I've done is I've put the pen pal service, like a little add-on, just as a trial for people, and people are replying now. So they get 7 days of like questions, just journal prompts. Now you can either just journal it yourself, or you can hit reply and I'm at the other end. And then, you know, a lot of it is they don't like their job. They don't like what they're doing for a living, and you spend such a lot of time doing what you do for a living. Such a lot of time.
Yeah, like half of your life, isn't it? Well, maybe not half, but like
a lot of time. And so it's about now. There's so many opportunities online as well, isn't there? I mean, I'm just figuring this out. Like, what skills has Susan got? Does she have skills she wants to offer that I can help her with to put online? Like, that's what I want to do. I don't really want to be talking about alcohol the whole time. That's in my program. You know, well, that's me now saying, is that your problem? is that what this is looking like for you? But let's get behind why that's coming about, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So often people go, well, I don't really think I'm bad enough, but that's the person. Don't wait till you're bad enough, because then you'll be going in alcohol services, and that's not really, like, look at it now. If it's nipping you now, what can I help you with in your life? Is it your relationship? Is it your work? Is it your health? Is it your fitness? And if it's not me who can help you, I know people who can. I've got a huge network now. So that's how I see it working. And I'm just so excited, because it's women have never been asked what they want or what's wrong or how do they feel. And it's just a nice anonymous, well, it's not necessarily anonymous, but you don't want to tell your friends. You don't always want to offload that on your mother.
No, and it's your private stuff, isn't it? And I think what we supposed to want and what we want might be two different things, isn't it? So, because we expected certain things, if your mums were expected to be the good mums, and we're not allowed to want anything else, right? So I think it's just it's good point. So I really like the idea that people can get a little taste of you, and I know that that's the risk in there. They're gonna get taste of you, they're gonna get hooked.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. And
no, seriously, because you're giving the way out, right? You're giving the platform to start thinking about themselves, and you're giving them time to stop and consider what's actually happening around me, not just going on autopilot.
A lot of the time you think, well, nobody cares, nobody understands, nobody cares, and nobody wants to hear. Yesterday I had a lady who's actually, I'm not going to say names or anything, so I can share, because it massively boosted my confidence. I nearly didn't do this business because I thought, well, I'm not a doctor. Who's going to listen to me? And, I really don't want to turn up and make people worse because they haven't gone to their doctors and they've listened to me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on. And yesterday I had someone reply to my sober pen pal. She's a doctor.
Wow.
She's a doctor.
Wow.
And she's just left her partnership. She's left her partner, and everything's fallen apart because she's under so much pressure, and she doesn't want to talk to the people around her, because she feels like all day she's dealing with people who are ill.
Yes.
And she doesn't think that she's worthy of, she's not bad enough. Where being able to just offload that on someone who has been through it and who's managed to turn it around, that massively made me think, bloody hell, what's to say that your doctor isn't drinking more than you, and you turn up and you say, this is me and I'm worried. If I've been through it, I understand where you're at, and it doesn't have to be that you're yellow and your eyeballs, you know what I mean? You don't have to wait. Don't wait
till you're yellow.
Wait till then.
And you lose your all living functions, so you have to wait for that.
I'm not ready yet, Claire. I'll come back when I'm ready.
I can walk. Oh, I still got driving license. No, let's not be honest. This is just like you said at the beginning. This is not about, well, this is for any stage, isn't it? This is for when you feel that you could do something better to help yourself, isn't it? And if it's like we said, if you're not happy with the one glass, or if you're not happy with the 10 bottles a day, like whatever it is makes you unhappy, because not everybody are massive drinkers, but that's some kind, just like you said, the sleep disturbance and everything, it's just, we've got lots of different levels of when stuff affects us, right?
So I think to measure yourself on is, so many times you're surrounded, we do a good job of this, is surrounding ourselves with other people who have like similar habits, don't we? We're around other people, and it might be time to think, well, like, have they got the life that I want in 3 or 5 years' time? Have they got that? Because maybe it's time to look at the people who've got the life that you want and live how they live, perhaps. Because if you're not growing, you're not even staying the same. You're going backwards, aren't you? Because we're evolving. Does that make sense? That's
completely.
I feel like I've learned recently. And you do feel like you're alive when you're learning, and especially about yourself, like the self-awareness, like to know that you will you'll be okay. Like this, there's a saying, isn't it? How do you don't know your pants are see-through till the tide goes out?
It's brilliant. We're going to write something this down. You send me that quote because I'll forget. But that's just
it's kind of thinking
amazing.
like, if something goes wrong in your life, if you get made redundant, if your relationship falls apart, and the only thing you've got in your box is wine to rely on, like that's even if you're thinking ahead like that, I think like let's prepare for life. Let's prepare and think, what else can I do when I'm stressed? Because this is the only thing I've got right now.
Yeah.
And and we can do that. We do that bit before you even think about stopping.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm saying to you, come and talk to us, and then that's it. You never have another drink ever again. It's a no-fail policy. It's no-fail, right? Because so many women don't want to get started in case they can't do it, in case they fail. It's not like that. You've got to fail to find out what craving is it. What is it that you still believe about alcohol? Because if you get to a point where you think, I don't know, you're meeting up with that friend and you've managed to socialize sober, but not with her. I can do it with everyone else, but not with her. Then that just goes on your list. Yeah. And then it's okay, you go and you get drunk with her and you maybe try to have the conversation and she goes, oh my God, I thought exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. Maybe she's help as well. They can you
go. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means that that's the obstacle that you're not. For me, it was glamour. I believed at New Year's Eve that there was no point me getting dressed up with the black dress and the red lipstick because I didn't have a glass of champagne.
Yeah.
I still believed that, and I had been sober for a year. It took me to the point 4 o'clock on New Year's Eve, and I was thinking, why have I not even thought about what I'm wearing? Why have I not done that? Which is not like me. And I had to sit with it and think, I still believe that New Year's Eve is not for me. That's blood bollocks. So I put the eyelashes on and I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. And why are you supposed to because going out and enjoying friends, it's just part of our lives and it should be, rightly so, right?
That went right back to me remembering the first time I went out drinking. And that was the first time I saw, like, in my vision of what New Year's Eve is like, with the neon lights and all the shoulder pads and the curly perms, and the glasses of
whatever. Giving away your lemonade.
Lemonade. Yeah. And I was like, I want a pint of whatever they're drinking. And that's what I still believed. And that was like 30 years earlier, when I was 15. But now it's like thinking, no, I can have the curly perm, I can have the shoulder pads, I can have the lipstick.
Well, it's turned the circle right now, isn't it? It's all about shoulder pads right now. So.
And then I'm going to look just as good when I go home. I'm not falling out of a taxi and being sick in my handbag. I've done that. It's not funny anymore.
No, it's not, isn't it? Especially if it's Chanel handbag. It's not cool.
You can't 10-year-old sitting beside in the taxi.
No, that's unless you've got Tesco back inside aligned with them. But then you have to think ahead. So. Oh my God. Well, it's so great to speak to you. So will you give us all the links and everything? Because I really think that chatting to you definitely inspired so many people. I'm going to be putting this chat everywhere I can, because I really want that to go big, just like you going big. Because can I just say, I'm just watching you and I'm looking at you. I'm just so happy. And I'm actually... it just makes me, I don't want to sound that patronizing, but I'm so happy and so proud that you're just smashing it, and you're not taking any prisoners. You're just going for it, and you just bright, gorgeous, like just exactly like we met. And at the beginning, we were thinking, which way to go. And this is exactly you. This is you with this beautiful pink lipstick. You need to give us the link to that lipstick as well, which is completely on brand. Someone's seen your logo, it's completely on brand, and it's just, that's the way forward, isn't it? Just being happy, figure out who you are and what you need, and just kind of go for it. No pressure, just like you said. It's just listening to you, what you're capable, and take the steps you think you're capable to do, because you don't want yourself to fail. But I think we can, with a little bit of support, we can give yourself a fair chance to achieve what we want, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's been completely fantastic talking to you, Claire, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I bet we need to go and do something crazy soon.
Oh
not
yes,
alcohol involved.
definitely. I have so much fun with you. I do. I loved every minute of it. Both of the shoots actually were so much fun, weren't they? I managed to squeeze every moment out of you.
Didn't we? And I still need to get that heavyweight hula hoop, whatever that was completely crazy. Just to everybody watching us, Claire's got this crazy hula hoop. So I decided to have a go because I used to be good in hula hoop, and that hula hoop was like 20 kilo heavy. So that little frail person, she's like tiny, plays tiny. Probably you can see it from the camera, but she's like literally 5 foot. What are you like?
I'm 5'5". I am
Yeah,
5'5".
you're small. And then you like the smallest thing, amazing figure, and that massive hula hoop. I'm not saying 20 kilos at least. And she's going for it on the beach. It's like, this is the epiphany of you. You did the kind of person who you think, oh my God, she's just going for it with that massive hula hoop, which is heavier than you right now, with the smile in your face. And it's just exactly what people should be like, enjoying the life and not having any remorse from our actions. We should be happy. We shouldn't be feeling guilty, shouldn't we? Life is too short to feel guilty for whatever reason we feel guilty, right?
Exactly. And I mean, I'm still the same person. If I was in a nightclub, I'd be dancing on the stage. So it's still me. It's just a different version of me. So you don't have to give that part of yourself up. You know, you can still be the crazy wild one, but just show who you are. You don't have to hide it behind Prosecco.
No, you don't. And I'm going to say another thing. I'm going to be photographing this week one of your friends, and Helen, and she said she knew you before you went through all that change and everything. And she said, oh my God, Claire's completely different person, but not different in a way, bad way or anything like that. She said she's so much more happier. She's got so much more oomph to life. She is completely, reborn, so I think people looking back at you, people I'm meeting and talking about you, it's just that the impact they have in the getting from just watching you. It's just so inspirational, and it's great that you obviously, you walk your work, and you're doing what we're all supposed to be doing, supporting ourselves and thinking what's good for us, right?
Thank you, Aga.
Thank you so much, gorgeous, and speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.